Your body looks like this, but you want it to look like this. Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to get from here to here. Exactly everything that you need to know. But first off, my name is King Kai. I'm a personal trainer as well as an avid anime fanatic, and I like to combine fitness and anime content here on the channel. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and scroll down and sub to the channel so I can train you next. What you're experiencing right now is called skinny fat. Your wrists have the diameter of a Cheerio. Your midsection looks like a bag of milk. Your chest is, caving in a little bit, and there are no gains to be found. Well, there's a couple reasons why your body is the way that it is. For one, you have very little muscle development, if any, which means you're probably a beginner. Number two, you're in a caloric surplus and you're eating a lot more than you should, hence why the fat is collecting around your midsection. And three, you're either not training or you're not following a consistent training plan. Like as Athlete X says, you're probably exercising and not training. So the cure to your skinny fat problem is not going to be a cut. It's going to be building extra muscle. It's probably against what you've heard before, but you need to build muscle. That's going to be the cure to this. So you got your answer. But if you want to know exactly how you're going to get there, I suggest you stay for the entire video. So you have two problems that you're going to need to fix here. There's going to be your muscle building problem and your fat problem. Now I'm going to address the fat problem first because it's going to be a little bit simpler to go about, as well as nutrition too. So King Kai knows a lot of things, and King Kai also knows that you are 100% in a caloric surplus because that's why the fat is collecting around your body. It wouldn't be there otherwise, or you're probably just eating very poorly. So you're thinking, okay, the first thing I gotta do is go on a cut. I gotta reduce the fat. Now I don't think that's a good idea, because if you do that, you're just gonna end up looking like this. You want to look like that, bro? What are you even cutting for? You're skinny fat, so you have no muscle development, okay? So if you cut off all the extra fat with no muscle, you're just going to look like a really skinny person. And you're going to be even less imposing than you already are. So what you can do here is you can either bulk up. I know you don't want to get fatter. Look, if you're eating good food, then you're probably not going to get fatter if you're exercising consistently. But you can either put on some weight, which is going to be in muscle, by bulking up, or you can go into your caloric deficit, but your muscle growth is going to be much slower. Remember, the muscles need calories in order to fuel themselves. You can gain muscle in a caloric deficit, but you're going to have to increase your protein intake substantially and reduce your carbohydrate intake. So they recommend around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I'd suggest you start adding in more protein sources in your diet. This is ensuring that we're creating a foundation necessary for the muscle to build properly. So if you're going to be in a caloric deficit, remember that you're reducing how many calories you're eating every day. The muscles need calories to sustain their energy. But if you have enough protein, and we know protein is a building block of muscle growth, then we can ensure that the muscles don't feel starved. Now again, like if you do go into a bulk, or if you go increase your protein intake, do not be afraid of gaining weight, because you're probably going to be gaining it in muscle, that is assuming that you're eating clean food, and this is going to be in your benefit. Because remember, muscles are metabolically demanding the stronger they become. What that means is that the stronger muscles become, the more calories they need to sustain their energy. The more calories they're burning to sustain that energy, the more fat you're burning. So yes, you need to start building muscles. To accelerate this muscle gain, you're going to need to go into a bulk. So you're probably going to get heavier. But which one do you want? You want the slow muscle gain, or do you want to gain a little bit faster by being in a bulk surplus? Now, if you go into a bulk, this is not an excuse for you to eat garbage. Hey, look at me. I'm serious. This is not an excuse for you to eat garbage. You can go eat your Shakey's pizza if you want to, but when you get to the weight that you want, you're going to look all fluffy and gross. So, have fun with that. Now, secondly, you're either not training at all or you're training very poorly. Stop being a buster, CJ. You actually need to get in there and train hard. So you're gonna have to follow some kind of training plan that ensures a consistent progressive overload. And progressive overload is simply just increasing the weight load that you're lifting every single week to ensure that muscles are growing and you're making progress. Now, as a beginner, it is crucially important that you educate yourself on the lifts that you're gonna be doing in the gym. I'm serious about this, because if you don't educate yourself properly and your form is poor, then you're either going to injure yourself or you're going to make a lot less progress than you should. So if your form is poor, then other muscles start to compensate, and then your body gets out of whack. You get muscle imbalances. That's not what we're going after. So you need to learn how to do compound lifts right away, because they're going to be very important for your training regimen, and you need to know how to do it the right way. So that means investing your time to watch YouTube videos, take notes, get a personal trainer. Not a plug, I promise. Like I said, you can only make the gains if your form is done properly. So this step cannot be undermined. It is critical that you educate yourself properly so you don't get injured or anything like that. Now the lifts that I want you to focus on are going to be primarily compound lifts, and a compound movement is going to be an exercise that targets multiple muscles at once. So employing multiple parts of your body at one time will then accelerate the muscle gain and the calorie burning. So these include exercises like bench, squat, overhead press, deadlift, bent over row, push-ups, dips, pull-ups, stuff like that, but primarily the barbells. These employ multiple muscle groups, increasing your energy expenditure, and you burn more fat because of it. So do not run from these. But again, compound lifts employ multiple muscles. The more muscles a movement includes, the easier it is to mess up. So that's why it's very important that you educate yourself and practice. Go in there and practice with like little weight. Just the bar is completely fine. No one's looking at you, I promise. But start with just the bar and practice getting the form properly. Ask for a spot. Like record yourself. Go over the footage. Like anything you can do to make sure that your journey is as straightforward as possible. Now there's also going to be plenty of isolation moves that help you build up your strength in compound moves. Isolations are just exercises that target a single muscle. They're going to be very important as well. They're going to help you also assist in building that hypertrophy. And speaking of, hypertrophy is how we're going to be training. So hypertrophy, by definition, is the enlargement of an organ or tissue, increasing its size. And in this case, we're going to be increasing the size of our muscles. So hypertrophy is done in the sweet spot of around 8 to 12 repetitions in the gym, and you're going to be around an 80% of your 1 rep maximum rep. So let's say if you can do 100 pounds on bench press, that's the most you can do. You're going to try to go for 80 pounds on bench press, and you can try to do that around 8 times. That's the hypertrophy range. That's what we want to be at. This will ensure maximum muscle stimulation that's going to be needed for your muscle growth. Now the last thing you're going to need is frequency. Okay, so it can be really daunting for you if you're a newbie and thinking that you need to come in 6-7 days a week. Like let's say like people like me, I come in 6 days because I've been training for so long, but in the beginning I wasn't doing that. I was doing around like 2 to 3 days. But if you come in 3 days consistently on a plan, that is infinitely better than coming in sporadically and doing random things. And also don't be afraid, because being new is not a bad thing. You can literally walk in the house of gains, inhale the scent of sweat and ego, and you'll get bigger. Really, your body reacts to weights really quickly when you're a beginner. So that does make things a little bit easier for you, and it's easier to get some momentum and motivation rolling. Just to make your life a little bit easier, I did make a 6-day training plan for weight training. It's going to be hypertrophy focused, and this is simply just an amalgamation of exercises that you can use in the gym and use them as reference. So you will go in there, download the workout, and just look at, okay, I'm gonna do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday. Okay, I think it'd be a really strong resource for someone who's a complete beginner. So go in the description box and download it for yourself. Now the only way that you're gonna mess this up is if you are not consistent. That's the only way. Like if you come in there every single day, I don't see how it's possible that you screw up. Remember, water cuts rock through persistence, not force. So you need to come every single day, or at least come the same days every week. So get up and go after it regardless of how you feel. So to recap, guys, the cure to your skinny fat problem is going to be building muscle, not cutting. I don't think that's the best idea. You need to build up your muscle, so you need to build up a foundation for your strength. Increase your protein intake or increase your overall calorie intake by eating good, clean foods. Do not eat garbage. I'm serious. People who think this is an excuse to eat pizza, you are completely wrong. I want you to eat clean food that's satiating and keeps you satisfied. Keep educating yourself. Keep consuming your protein to make your muscles grow even more. No burgers, no Chipotle. Stop it. Train with an emphasis on compound lifts as well as your isolation movements in tandem with your compounds. Endurance is fine as well, but weight training is the ideal focus right here. I still want you to train your cardiovascular system, but don't just do cardio for 50 minutes every single day and think that's all you need to do. That's not the best approach. Train consistently and train hard. I know one day you'll look yourself in the mirror and be so glad that you watched this video and you did exactly what I told you. If you guys found the video helpful, make sure you drop a like. And if you enjoy the content I have to offer, go ahead and subscribe to the channel too. I'll be pushing out more stuff consistently. And if you guys have any suggestions as to what you're confused about or what you're frustrated about, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll look into it. This is your sensei Kinkai. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.